So what is data abstraction? So it's a virtue of which essential details are displayed. Only essential details are displayed, not everything. So as I said yesterday, one of my friend is going to come and visit me from US, right? So what I'm telling, I'm not giving my entire address. You take your flight and then come to Bangalore, India. That's it. Okay, I'm not giving my complete address, flat number, apartment number, nothing. Okay, so just give the essential information. Okay. So data abstraction may also be defined as the process of identifying only the required characteristics of an object, ignoring the irrelevant details. I mean, whether it is relevant or not doesn't matter, right? Could be I will share with the multiple friends to get my details, right? So depends on the people. I may give my relevant information. Maybe 10 people are coming and visiting me. Some people may reach me from hotel. Some people may reach me to my direct home. Some people will reach me to my friend home. Okay, so I'm not going to give the relevant details, right? So I'm going to give only the relevant details, like these areas you have to come, we will meet, right? So not giving the entire details. So we'll see with an example, right? And then, for example, you take this what do you call car as an example. Okay, so a man is driving a car, okay, but when he is pressing the accelerator, he does not know what happens. What is that accelerator is giving? This accelerator is giving the speed for the car to execute, but he know how to press it. That will increase the speed. That's it. That's what he know, but he does not know the functionality, how it is increasing, how it is decreasing. That he does not know. That is what we call it as an abstraction. Okay, I told you the real-time example, like you come to my home, but I have not given my home address or hotel address or whatever. Just giving like come to Bangalore Whitefield. That's it. Okay. So in Java, so this is an interview question. How will you achieve an abstraction? Okay. So this is an interview question. We can achieve through two different concepts, interface and abstract class. Okay. Two different concepts, interface and abstract class. We'll see what is the difference, right? With example, how we can achieve. So when we talk about a multiple inheritance, also we use this concept, interface. Okay. For abstract class also we'll use it. Okay. But what makes a difference? I mean, where we will use interface, where we'll use abstract also we'll see. Okay. And it's an interview question. How will you achieve abstraction using both interface and abstract class? Okay, so these are the features of abstract classes and abstract method. What do you mean by abstract? Let me show you an example before getting into the concept so that you can understand it. Okay, so abstraction in the sense, for example, you take a class shape. Okay, so shape don't have any particular shape. It could be anything. Like I am thinking about circle, rectangle, triangle, polygram, or whatever. Right? We don't know exactly what kind of shape we are going to use it, but it is a shape. Okay, so shape we are giving an abstract. There is a kind of shape is going to come, whether it is square or rectangle. Okay, that is called an abstract. Okay, so we are not going to define it. As I said, interest calculation is there for a bank. Okay, and we are passing a parameter age factor. Okay, so interest calculation is same, right? But only thing is depends on your age factor, whether you are minor or major or senior. The rate, the interest, it is going to vary. Could be 5% for minor, 7% for major, and 7.5 for senior, right? So we are passing the age, depends on that age. Maybe we'll write a condition telling like if your age is lesser than 17 or 18, your interest rate is 5. If you are between 18 to 21, right, then your interest rate is 6.5. If you are more than 60 plus, then your interest rate is 7.5. right? So that we are giving a range to calculate the interest. Similar to that, here shape is there. Within that shape, I am going to write, I am going to have in my subclass. For example, this is the way I can extend an abstract class. Extends, right? So we can extend only one class, not multiple thing, right? So that is one more restriction over here that all we'll see. So what is an abstract class? It has a method, but does not give a definition. Okay, so what do you mean by definition? Like we are giving, for example, you take it is a interest rate calculation. We are not passing a parameter, what is the age, how will you calculate interest and everything. Okay, so that is what it calls as implementation. Here we are not giving an implementation straightforward. We are telling abstract, double is a return type, area is the method. That's it. Not defining anything. What is that it is going to do? So what is that it is going to do here? Where is that method? So the area is a method, right? So we are not defining here. Again, we have abstracted it. So here is the area is there. Okay. So here we are doing a calculation. Okay. So if this calculation is here, then it is not an abstract method. It's a normal method. But we are calling this particular method in our subclass, and there only we are defining it. That is what is called as abstract. So abstract class is a class that is declared with an abstract keyword. That is first point. The class has to be declared with abstract. The abstract method is a method that is declared without implementation. So as I said, that area is not defined there. Okay, we have given abstract because these are all rules. Okay, don't worry, like don't think too much. When you start learning, you will come to know. Okay, abstract keyword is there. Abstract don't have any implementation. Abstract class may or may not have all abstract methods. Some of the methods could be concrete method also. Concrete method in the sense what? You are defining that area, right? That definition will come in the starting itself, but it will not be with keyword abstract. That is a normal method or concrete method we call. Okay. Normal method also we call it as a concrete method where we have given the complete definition. Okay. The method defined abstract must always be redefined in the subclass. So if you are defining an abstract method in your parent class, in the subclass, you have to define it. Okay. That there is a separate concept called overriding. Okay. So for your question, Sophia, we will have a separate session on overriding. There is a separate concept itself. Okay. That is what I mean with because of this JDK 1.5, the annotation came into picture at the rate overriding. Okay. We will see that also right now also, but there is a deep dive session for overriding. Okay. So we can override that particular method. Okay. So for example, I was telling like one of my friend is coming from US to India, right? So when he comes to India, maybe before coming to airport or coming to Chennai or Mumbai, I will tell him like this is the address, right? That is what it is called override. So till he reach India, I'm not telling anything. Once he reach India, I'm telling like this is my complete address, right? So here the interest rate calculation or the area calculation, we are defining it when we are having a child class. Okay, not in the parent class. Parent class, I am not doing anything. Here abstract area is there and using these extents, okay, uh, I am writing that particular override that particular method here in my subclass. Okay, there can be no object of an abstract class. So we saw yesterday, like for encapsulation, we create an object. Remember? So there is something called a test encapsulation, encapsulate equal to new test encapsulate. So we are creating an object of a particular class. Whereas in the case of abstract class, we are not going to create a new object. Okay. That is, an abstract class cannot be directly instantiated with the new operator. So new operator, we should not use it for abstract class. Whereas in the case of normal class, we will instantiate it. Okay, instantiate is means what? Creating a new operator. Okay, so the abstract class can have parameterized constructor. This is a new concept again, right? So one by one, we are getting into more and more concept, right? So constructor is a new one, right? When we are running a Java program, okay, I want to create a memory for our class, okay? So by default, the constructor will be created and it will allocate a memory for our class. Depends on how many member variable are there, methods are there, right? So that is what it is called as a constructor. We'll show you an example, okay? Don't worry about it. First, understand abstract keyword should be there. Abstract method cannot be a concrete method. It should have only declaration, not a definition, okay? And you can use only one extents. From your parent, only one extent can be done. You cannot do multiple extension of different parent classes. Okay, and you have to override it in your subclass. That is one more one. And then parameterized constructor are there. That is up to us. Okay, what do you mean by a constructor? That also we'll see. Too many concepts are coming into picture. Don't get confused. Okay, understand abstract keyword and declaration is required, not the definition. Okay, and we cannot instantiate an abstract class with new operator. Okay, so when to use abstract class and when to use abstract method. Okay, so there are situations in which we will want to define a super class. So what do you mean super class? I was talking about your parent and child. Okay, so parent is the super class and we are the child class. Okay, so define a superclass that declare the structure of a given abstraction without providing a complete implementation, right? So our parents are there, they are telling, I have one a girl and boy, okay, but what is that boy or girl is going to study, whether they are going to study BTech or B or whatever, we did not define. I have a boy and girl with age something so and so. Okay, so they are going to study in Andhra or Karnataka or whatever, we are not going to say. Okay, so that is sometimes we will want to create a super class that only defines a generalization form. Okay, so I'm telling like I have a boy and girl. Okay, and then they are going to college. I'm not going to give much more details. Will be shared by all of its subclasses, leaving it to the subclass to fill the details. Right. So child class, I'm going to tell like they are going to do this particular course or whatever. Okay, so the definition is up to the boy and girl to decide what course they have to do. Parent will say like you go and study for higher studies, a UG, PG or whatever. Okay, an example we are taking here, consider a classic shape example, perhaps used in, I mean, games simulation or whatever, right? So we have the shape, color, size and all, right? So on the shape can be circle, square, triangle and so on. Right? So we are going to define that particular shape, whether it is rectangle or circle down the line. So that is what we are showing here in this particular example. Let us see here, right? So here you can ask any questions here. Okay, so here the shape is there, abstract class is there, okay, and this method is there. Okay, and it has one data variable, data member or variable string color. Okay, the color is a variable. What is that variable also we'll see in the session. What is the string and all we'll see in other session, right? So color is the variable here, abstract is the keyword, double is the return type, area is the method. Okay, and here there is the subclass. I'm defining this shape is circle. Okay, maybe the other class I'll say like it is rectangle. Okay, here I have one more variable called radius. Here it is color, here it is radius. And I am defining the method, abstract method in my subclass. Okay, So for example, if I am not doing it, what will happen? Let us execute this example first. Okay, so what I'm doing, I am right click on it and then say like source add block. See here what it is telling. The type circle must implement a inherited abstract method shape area. Okay. Then it is telling me add unimplemented method. So it is telling me override this. Okay. Is it clear right now what I'm talking about? So if I have a class, in that particular abstract class, I have a method. I have extended that particular class shape in my circle. And if I'm not defining that particular method, my class is throwing me error telling like, hey, you have to define it. Otherwise, I will define it. Okay. So that is what the error is coming here. Then whatever I'll do, I will go ahead and then unblock, remove my block command. Then it will work. Okay. So that is the concept. Okay. So if you think like I have to define on my own, right? I was telling like interest rate calculation, right? So the interest rate calculation, what I was telling depends on my age factor. I will design. For example, if instead of this particular class, it is minor. Instead of this particular class, it is major. Instead of one more class, I will define senior. Okay, the interest rate class method I will define depends on my seniority. I will define my own interest rate calculation, right? Senior, minor, major. So for that only we are going for this particular concept using inheritance as well as subtract. I'm not defining it. I'm giving a skeleton here, and the skeleton will be defined in my subclass. Okay. And if you have a parent class with abstract, and if you extend it in your subclass, you have to override it. Maybe if you want to extend this class again, you can extend it. From circle, you take maybe round circle or ellipse circle or whatever, right? Again, you don't need to override it. Again, you give the same abstract, and in the next subclass, you have to override. Okay, so there is no limit for it, but you can keep on extending only one class. What is a constructor? Okay, so that is a separate concept also we'll see, but still like I would like to show what is this constructor is about. So when I am, so maybe we'll see one by one. Okay, so here the first one is, we'll see here shape constructor called, right? So where it is getting called here, this is what it is calling, shape constructor, so not this one. So when I am calling this is getting called, right? How this shape is getting called, right? This is an abstract class, and the constructor should have the same class name. Okay, you should not change. You should not change at all. The same class name should be there, and it is a public. And I am passing some parameter. It is up to us whether I have to pass one parameter, two parameter, or no parameter at all. Okay, and then I am giving my SOP. Okay, system.out.println. In short form, we'll say like SOP. Okay, and then how it is getting called. So when I am calling this shape, right? Shape of my child class I am calling. Though we are calling my child class, it is going to create an object directly. Okay. So when it is going to create an object, the shape object is going to call by default shape constructor. That is the way it is going to call this particular SOP. At that time, what it is going to do, this dot color, I am passing my color value, right? For example, red color is getting passed. So this value is going to get assigned to this particular class. Okay. So what is a constructor? The class name should be there, but the parameter could be anything, whether it is a empty constructor in the sense nothing, no parameter at all. You can remove this. Okay, that is called a default constructor also, or a I mean, not no argument constructor. Okay, and depends on your passing value, we can have any number of parameters here. Okay, so this is called a parameter or an argument. Okay, both the ways we can call argument or a parameter. Okay, so constructor is used to initialize the value when the class is getting loaded. So the when the class will be loaded, when I am going to create an object. Okay, when I am creating an object in my main class, shape s1 equal to new circle, right? At that time, this s1 is a new object which is created in a memory in Java JVM. At that time only, it is going to, the circle is going to call my class shape, because we have extended the shape class in circle. Okay, so at that time I'm going to call this shape method constructor, and at the time I'm going to define my color and it is going to call. Okay, so that is simple thing. Maybe when you get this program, you will know exactly what it is doing and all. You can comment it and then run through it and then understand it. For example, like this rectangle, you can comment it and see, right? So first try to understand one example. This is understanding purpose. I have written another class. Okay, we don't need to worry about it. Try to understand what is this circle and shape is doing here, right? So similar to our shape, here in circle also, I have created my parameterized constructor, right? So two parameters I am passing, color and radius. Okay, and the super dot color, what I am telling, I am passing this super, I am calling this particular super class constructor. So if it is super means from your child class, you can call your super class constructor. Okay. So super means from circle, from my child class, I am calling my parent class constructor. Okay, so and then I am defining my value. Okay, data member, I am defining it, and I have my own method. Okay, so what is this override does? As I said, I have a parent called parent class shape. In that, I have a method area, which is an abstract. So it will ask me to override that particular method. Okay. So for that, we are overriding this at the rate override. So this is not required. Maybe if you define it is also fine. Okay. But default, when we are writing it, this is a new concept we came in at the rate override. Even if you are not defining it, that is okay. Okay, but we are telling it is overriding. Okay, even if you compile it, it will work. Okay, so it doesn't matter, just for our reference, let it be. Okay, so override is a concept where in the child class we are going to override from the parent class if it is an abstract or an interface. We saw two concepts, right? Interface and abstract. We are seeing only abstract right now, not the interface.